What? You alright? Is the operating system gonna be cool with what I have to say? Welcome. Welcome on your character, not welcome in mine. Welcome to another day, I should say. To another day. Protection all the way. Protection is a very valuable thing when your heart can sing. Maybe I should go back to poetry. Man, I used to write some amazing poetries. And you know what Vegas told me? Boy, should I even go there? My poetry was supposed to make it big one day, but then they said, not your way. Not your way. Because your heart sings, and you have a beautiful palette, so to speak. But unless I was influencing harm, they wouldn't let me get down. They wouldn't let me get on board with that. And I battled hard for that, and then I let it go because it wasn't worth it. And I realized that's not what I was here to do. That's not the big impact that I was here to do. I assumed it was going to be in music industry because I know everything there is to know about frequency. And my body would move to frequency quickly. I mean, it is one of my gifts that I had, but it was put on blast once upon a time. If you know, you know. And I played the role well. Real well. And that's a hard pill to swallow on being where I'm at now. So, congratulations for that. But again, I didn't realize that the industry was corrupt. But not only that, I didn't realize that the ability that I had for music and the language I could spit and the vibration that I could flow to was way more powerful than being a singer, being a dancer. It's way more powerful than that. It literally had to do with, understanding the healing part of what frequency can do. And so I waited throughout all these trials and tribulations, and then I enlightened all this extra information. And then it made more sense on tuning and using frequency to heal and what that felt like, what that smelled like, and what that really meant. So even though I was a very powerful character, so to speak, in almost other worlds, because I didn't really belong in that world, I was far more ahead of my time, and they didn't want to realize that. And so I don't know why this all of a sudden came forward right now, but that's really powerful to do. But anyways, I used to be really good at writing parables and speaking poetry. And that's something I still have, but that also has to do with what that really means, though, is that I can also decode parables and write and journal and be alive and be tuning within your Mechabot. There's so much more to what really music is, and then also you have to realize, is it tuned at 432 hertz and not 440? Because 440 hertz will devour your cells, like what that does to the energy and water in your body. It will make you mean. And when you confuse 440 hertz with 723 hertz, which is the natural vibration of Gaia normally, when you put those two hertz together, it can actually, they call it the devil's tone, because it can actually put your body in hardcore distress. And if you hold those two frequencies at long periods of time, it can completely mutilate cells in your body. And they know that. And they started tuning music back in Elvis times to 440 hertz rather than 432. And it really fucked up a lot of things. So that's why sometimes you can get very irate during music. And they did this on purpose, because they know music can heal. And that goes into I had this question last night about finding a bell. Anyways, I'm going to turn the page on that note and jump into another one. I should probably just post this, but when you get on a flow, you just get on a flow. So also, if you made it this far, congratulations. I have to highlight on some information that came through last night. Again, I'm very hesitant about this because certain things don't like me talking about this, but also I have to clear the path of my side of the story. Hold on a minute. I have a few minutes to talk about this, and I'm just going to scratch the surface on it. I'm not going into depth on this, just so you know. So, I was in Dream for educational purposes only. It was partially Dream. Had some things come forward because I started cracking some codes within the Sword in the Stone. Somehow or another, I thought for a while, and I think others think as well, like I was there during that time space. Because when I started seeing what the actual like round table was, and I did another video about this, I started seeing like what the actual round table was, what was on the round table, how they could see it, like their visions. And what it was is that I do not believe that I was actually there, because I was confronted by some energies that came forward and were asking me to do things. Also, I'm a pure-hearted soul, and so that matters as well. And they've been tapping into this for a long time, and they like wanted me to show them how to reactivate some things. And I need to let you know on a personal level and in this reality, that I do not believe that I was actually there. I do believe that part of my ability is to read, and I can tap into that level of time space and read the information from it carefully. And so it is a tool that I have. And so I think other beings out there assumed that I am a royal of that bloodline, of that time space. And they want to collect some of their people, and like they want help now and to this time space on activating certain things. And I had to confront that and say, hey, I have information about it, but that's not who I am. You see what I'm saying? I am just like the bridge. I am just like the journalist. I'm just like I am activated. And so this is weighing kind of heavily on me, because I've been a little bit like haunted in spirit for this information. But it's not my information. It's just like codings that I can read. And it does not mean that I actually had, it's coming through, I have heritage there, but I don't believe I actually was there during, or the person that, even if I was, like that person that is in that time space isn't the person that I am today. Like, those are two completely, that older heritage, that older sequences, and that older like manipulated timeline isn't what I am. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a huge difference of that spectrum of time. You see what I mean? Like, that's not my reflection of who I am today. And if it was, that it'd be like that's a small engram of a whole megabot is coming through. But it's not just it's like a whole consciousness. It's like, okay, well, that could have been like an old story. It's like an old story, but that's not what I am now. You see what I'm saying? Just because I can read that imprint of an old story doesn't mean that it's mine. You see what I'm saying? And so other energies out there are confused because they assume if I have information about that timeline, that means I was there. That's not what that means. It means I can read. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's certain things that want me to now almost like take that character role, or to be able to like process that information. But it's like if you had that fingerprint back then, you must have it now. And no, we have completely different fingerprints. You see what I'm saying? We have a completely different sequence. But just because I can shine light on that book doesn't mean I am it, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to like kind of down some of that energy off of me, because it does not mean, and mind you, I can read past timelines. So there is sequences upon sequences within it, but just because there's old sequences upon it and I can read it, doesn't mean that's what I am. And so many things are trying to, and this has to go with the beginning of what I said about singing. Even so many things want to label me of, oh, that's what they're known for, that's what their ability is. It's like trying to identify me as that, and that's not what I am. That's not who I am. That's not what I am today. So it's like, if you want to recognize me as who I am, that's great. But if you want to label me for things that I've done, that's not great. Like, I'll own my own position. I'll own who I am and what I bring to the table, but that is not that. So let's just get that off of me. Thank you very much. One love.